Happy Christmas to you.
The Honourable Jan Barham.
Madam Deputy President, I rise to speak about the management of New South Wales State Forests and follow on from the speech by Mr David Shoebridge about his visit to the North Coast. I start by pointing out that on the North Coast, on the Pacific Highway, there used to be a sign for state forests saying your forests are in safe hands. Unfortunately, there were very few people who believed that, due to the effectiveness of the group North East Forest Alliance and the years of contribution they've made to going into our Crown state forests and checking on whether or not the prescriptions and the protocols that state forests are defined to follow are being observed. The unfortunate reality is they haven't been. During the early 90s, there were 7 court cases that found them not meeting the legislative requirements in relation to the management of state forests. And then after 1995, when we saw some changes in protocols and prescriptions and the creation of a new forest system, unfortunately we didn't see much of a change. We still saw complaints being made, evidence being collected by North East Forest Alliance, and on inspection it was found that there were the breaches. So this is a great disappointment to the people of the North Coast, and it was a pleasure to have David Shoebridge up on the North Coast on the weekend of the 17th and 18th of August. On the 17th he spoke at a forum in Byron Bay about the changes that are proposed for the State Planning Act, and there was considerable concern, particularly from those in the environment movement and the Friends of the Koala representative Lorraine Bass, who spoke with great concern about the management of our public lands in relation to koala protection. On the Sunday, David, myself and a group of ecologists went to the forest.
Did he change out of his loafers?
We went to the forest on Sunday in the company of North East Forest Alliance members and one of their expert ecologists. As David has mentioned, we went there and without any prior inspection of a particular area, we entered that area to see if we could find if there was evidence of koalas. And as Mr Shoebridge has stated in his speech, it didn't take long for us to find the evidence. We found the scratches on the trees, and upon looking at the base of those trees we did find the scats. And it does show how many koalas are in that area, and it takes us back to whether or not this area should be a state forest and whether or not the area that was recognised such a long time ago as being of high value but was not included in the reserve system, perhaps because of its location in an electorate that was a marginal seat for an ALP member at the time. But what's happening at the moment is that we do have an area, the Royal Camp State Forest, that is being logged. It's being logged without meeting the prescriptions that are prescribed, and the only way that we even know that is because a group of volunteers and conservationists who care about the natural environment have gone out there and have checked, and they have done what should have been done by the government. And I'd just like to read from a letter that has since been sent to the EPA Acting Chief Regulator Mark Gifford from Mr Dylan Pugh from the North East Forest Alliance. And I will make the comment that Mr Dylan Pugh reports that there is we are astounded that they are now denying they were able to find clearly documented breaches that were shown to them on the second site inspection. It's outrageous that they have blatantly lied about this and unjustifiably dismissed evidence shown to them and discussed with them. This has taken the EPA a year to produce such a simplistic, shoddy and inaccurate response to some of the complaints is a poor reflection on the organisation. And I call on the government to make sure that it follows through on this complaint, that it observes that this area is significant and that this koala habitat, along with a significant concern about a V-notch yellow-bellied glider sap feed tree that has been identified and should have contained an investigation that resulted in a breach and a fine. Those things should be observed because this is our natural heritage and we need to have that matter resolved. Thank you.